Hello everybody. The audio got corrupt on this video somehow, so I'm going to just do a voiceover on it. This is a 21 CVO Roadglide, and this particular video is about replacing the intake manifold. We're going to use the S&S aluminum intake manifold. We're also going to put 5.5 injectors in this one because we're going to be installing the CR 483 cam along with the Thundermax set of headers and high flow breather on this 117, so it should be quite the little ride when we get done with it. Right now you can see that I'm pulling the flanges off of the factory plastic intake manifold. Sometimes these O-rings get stuck and it takes a little effort to get them off. I'm using my knife to just kind of pull them off. I think one of them was leaking. I saw some evidence on the head of some leaking. I'll show you when we get back over there to it. But sometimes they do. I've seen these intake seals kinked directly from the factory. Bike running like caca. Dealership can't figure it out. We get in there and put a Thundermax on it and a aluminum intake manifold, and when we take it apart, poof, there's the problem right there. It's a kinked intake manifold gasket directly from the factory. They make mistakes too. Everybody makes mistakes. There's no perfect shop. Anybody thinks perfection's attainable, it's not. You can just get close. You can't get perfect. So keep that in mind next time you take on a project. Perfection is very hard to attain. I don't even think Chip Foose or any of those guys achieve perfection. They get real close, but there's always a flaw somewhere. You might not be able to find it, but there's always a flaw somewhere. So still taking the injectors out now of the little fuel rail. They get stuck sometimes too. The rubber O-rings will stick over time, so a little bit of that lubricant there. We'll let them pop right out. Then we'll pull the throttle body off and move it over to the new manifold here in just a second. The camera's going in and out of focus too. Probably won't use the same settings on the next video. I'm an amateur video guy, not a pro. It's just a hobby. Yeah, we're taking the throttle body off the plastic manifold now, and we'll be putting it on to the aluminum manifold here shortly. I think this is a number 5 metric Allen. A lot of people say there's no metric hardware on a Harley. Yeah, there is. There's quite a bit of it. You better have your metric tools if you're going to work on a Harley. Then once we get through this part here, I'll go over to the bike with the intake manifold and install it. Then the next video after this one is about an hour long. I go into detail on installing the CR 483 cam, from cutting the push rods, pulling the cam plate, replacing the cam, going back in with the cam plate, pulling the bearing out, replacing the bearing, that whole thing. Here I'm explaining about the plastic intake manifold that the factory puts on these bikes. Bikes overheat sometimes in heavy traffic during bike rallies and that when the traffic doesn't move. Bikes will overheat. Those plastic manifolds are warped. They're touching, they're literally bolted to the heads. And these M8s run a little hotter than the twin cams do. Even with the oil cooled heads and liquid heads and all that stuff, they still get hot. So this is a really good upgrade. Takes away any problems as far as failure with that plastic manifold. So here you can see that I'm bolting on the throttle body to the S&S Intake. They make two different models. One of them is a machined or CNC cut manifold. It's about twice as much as the cast model. Cast model's silver and the CNC machined one is black. Two different theories on those manifolds. Some say that the cast model, because the casts are a little bit rough, that helps to atomize the fuel more. Some people say that the CNC machined one, the blueprinted one, that's about double the money, helps flow more air and fuel. It just depends on, I've used them both. I can't really tell the difference between one or the other one, to be honest with you. So we just go in there with the aluminum one, the cast one. I guess you could probably see it on a dyno. It would be a percentage. It wouldn't be a group of numbers difference. It would be just a percentage, just a very small amount. I don't think it'd be anything noticeable. So I don't think it's worth double the money. So one manifold's about $500 installed, parts and labor, the silver one, the cast one, and then the other one's $750. Labor, parts and labor, $750, something like that. So I'm grabbing the 5.5 injectors here out of the Daytona Twin Tech box. This thing shows that they're 5.4s. It gives you a readout on them. I always just call them 5.5s. It's just I think Harley makes a 5.5 injector. They're more money than the Daytona Twin Techs, and the results are literally the same. There's just not a lot of difference there. Of course, there would be if somebody's counting pennies on it as far as trying to get every drop of the lemon they can squeeze out of it. But for the normal everyday guy, you can't tell the difference. It's good injectors, real good injectors. We like them. They're always available. And we're going to go ahead and put those into the fuel rail, mount those onto the manifold, and get this thing over to the bike here in just a minute. I always like to box up the old stuff for the customer so that they can have it. I'll go ahead and lubricate the O-rings. It'll help them slide into their place a lot easier. So it's important to keep the O-rings moving. You don't want to put a dry rubber O-ring into anything. That's where they tear and rip and don't seat correctly. Always want to use proper lubricant on rubber O-rings. It just makes it go together better. It gives you more confidence that you did a successful install, and everything just snaps together. I think I know that the injectors are keyed onto the fuel rail, so you really can't get it backwards. I guess a person could, but you just paying halfway attention, you can tell that the way they go on there. The electrical connectors face upward to the sky on the manifold, so that's another indication. So snapping it together there, and we'll put the factory screws back in the fuel rail and hold it in place, and then slowly but surely get it put together. these manifolds look good in place once they're installed as well. Gives a little silvery shininess as you look in there underneath the gas tank. A little bit of goodness performance wise, visual. A lot of these parts you can't see. Some of them you can. This one you can see. Got a nice little S&S metal emblem on it. I've found that there are other manufacturers out there that they claim to be manufacturers. I'm not sure. Can't really bring up any names right now. But it looks like they're drilling the pop rivets out and taking the S&S logo off of the manifold and then re-pop riveting their own little logo that's in the same shape as the S&S logo. But it says the ABC company on it. I've seen it 2 or 3 different times. I don't know if somebody's farming out these cast manifolds to one particular company that makes them, and they're farming them out to different companies, or if the mother company has made an agreement with somebody to relabel them. I don't know, but I buy the S&S one because that's what we use. So I don't know if the other ones are the same quality or not. I ain't using one. HPI is a good manifold, but there you go. Anyway, I'm showing here where it appears to have had a leak on the rear cylinder. I'm just going to go ahead and wipe that down and get the oil off. It looks as though that seal had leaked and the bike probably wasn't running optimum. Probably from the factory because nobody's been in on it. It's pretty much completely stock. Upstairs anyway. I think it had some slip-ons on it. But so I'm just wiping that down, getting the crud off of the intake flanges there on our intake mount there on the heads, front and rear. Then we'll try to get the manifold back in place. You have to take your time with that because it fits in there really tight and you can't force it. If you do, you'll wind up tearing or kinking the manifold seal, like the one I mentioned earlier from the factory. Somebody got in a hurry and wasn't paying attention to what they were doing. We've even installed these ourselves and had an intake leak after the install and had to go back in and redo it. It happens all along. Probably 1 out of every 10 times it happens. You think you got it in there and you go to fire it up and Thundermax goes, "Hey, dude, you got a leak." So we had to pull the manifold back off, put another set of seals on it. So when you go in here with the screws, you don't want to tighten them all 4 down. You just want to put the screws in place. Make sure all your holes are lined up. Just put the screws in place, turn them down 2 or 3 threads, and then go around once you've got everything the way you think it's supposed to be. If everything looks good and you feel like you don't have your O-rings kinked, then you can start tightening down those manifold bolts. Then don't forget to put back in your map sensor. Don't forget to plug back in your throttle body. Don't forget to plug back in your injectors. It's kind of embarrassing to put the fuel tank back on and after you forgot to plug in the injectors because you got to pull the tank back off. That could be embarrassing. if anybody was watching. But the only people that ever watch are the people that are in our shop, so it's still embarrassing for somebody to get distracted and not plug something back in. It happens. Just like I said, there is no perfect shop. Even the best mess up. So I think right here is installing the map sensor. It takes one screw to hold it in place. And then, yeah, that's what that is. Just putting the screw back in for the map sensor. MAP means mass air pressure sensor, in case you didn't know. It's not a map like tuning map. A lot of people think it has something to do with the tuning map. I guess it has something to do with it, but that's not what it means. It means mass air pressure sensor. And then I'm on the other side over there tightening down the other screws on the other side. Just let the camera roll. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the next video, and it'll be about the cam install. So keep an eye out. Talk to you later.